The building blocks of a strong relationship are many. Trust, communication, and compromise are just a few. But perhaps most important of them all is forgiveness. It's over.
Wow.
And when it comes to forgiveness, I can't think of a harsher arena to test a relationship than hardcore Minecraft. Oh my god, there's a zombie in here.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
I'm trying to go. I got. Needless to say, generating a world in hardcore is a commitment. Generating a world in hardcore as a couple is a vow.
That little shit villager came in and let the zombie in.
Well, so much for this world.
I guess that's why they say, till death do us part. For all the times I told him I'd never do something like this, here we are. When I told him I wanted to play more Minecraft, this wasn't at all what I had in mind. Usually I ask to play Minecraft when I want to chill out and feed sheep for a couple hours, not stress over every little thing.
Hank, you're on top of the sheep. Okay, well.
Admittedly, the first couple of worlds we made, my anxiety was through the roof. But by the 5th attempt, generating to hardcore was just another Tuesday.
I can't believe we're starting from scratch again, Taryn.
I know, but I believe in us.
I'm in.
He's in?
We're in, boys.
Where are you?
Darn girl. I just fell out of a tree. There we go. Now we can just play together as friends. I mean, lovers, or whatever the hell you are.
Whoa! Okay. So essentially, we're just trying to find a good start.
We're finding a good start. We're not making a good start.
Yeah. So the new plan is the
Old plan, but new. The main goal is to not die. The first, overarching goal is to find a place to call our own.
Yes.
Enough killing the animals. Let's get out of here. Good start.
Strong start.
Strong start, Tarn. Strong start.
Our first stop was a rainforest. We thought maybe a jungle base would be a cool idea, but realized pretty quickly that finding each other in the dense foliage was asking for trouble.
We can't live in the jungle because we wouldn't be able to find each other ever.
Ever.
Not to mention, living in a massive treehouse with a fall damage prone girlfriend is just begging for an untimely breakup. Either way, we made sure we didn't leave the jungle empty-handed.
I got him.
Yay! Do you have any extra seeds?
Yeah, here. Let's find that yellow one for you. We're gonna spend the entire day taming parrots instead of getting a base set up. Maybe look at the tree there. It's flying around.
You wanted me.
Yay!
You have it on your shoulder.
There.
Ah! This is hilarious.
This is what hardcore is all about. Stuff like this.
It seems like every Minecraft world we've ever made together starts the same way. Hopping into a boat and sailing around for the perfect place to build. Of course, without exception, it takes hours, as we always have to find our creativity and never the other way around.
Oh, perfectly.
Look at us, we're so cute with our parrots.
God, this is just like in our other world though, where it's there's just nothing.
What?
I just saw a trident go flying past your head.
What? A triangle?
A trident.
A trident?
That was so close. That was so close to hitting you.
With 3 hours of sailing around aimlessly under our belts, we realized we'd sooner die than find a place that made us happy. As this is hardcore, there wasn't a lot of room to be picky.
Woo! Felon.
Nonetheless, against our better judgment, we kept on pushing our luck.
Whoa, there's a pillager outpost over there. Is that what I think it is, though? I thought I saw one of those pink... Wait. Is that a pink tree? Taryn.
What? Oh my god.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
I think we could live up on those cliffs, honestly. We'd have to get the villagers up there somehow, which would be hell. Okay, I'm gonna try to go and be back before it gets dark. This looks so magical up here.
Should we live up there?
Do you want to live up here? Let's sleep.
This is so
This is super
gorgeous.
cool. I'm just gonna get a little lay of the land real quick. Yeah, this snow is pretty dangerous, I think. Mostly because I don't know how it works.
Right.
Damn, there's so many over here.
Holy shit.
Should we just live here, Taryn?
Let's live here. How do we do any of the villager stuff, though?
We'll have to find a way to get them here. That'll be our first mission.
Okay, let's live here.
Although we settled on this grove being our new home, getting too comfortable was a mistake we'd only have to make once. Our new home was cold, stark, but undeniably beautiful. In hardcore, all it would take is getting lost to the sights once to face tragedy.
Place to dry off.
Oh, okay, I like this. This is like mega roughing it, but like in a cute way. Leave the hovel from the backside and look to the right. Oh, wait, oh, shit, I'm dying.
Come back.
I don't know how.
Oh no. I'm trying to help you. Hold on, calm down. Stop panicking. Just chill. I'm coming to help. Don't make any sudden movements.
Do you know where I am?
Yep.
Can I dig my way out?
Step out of the snow. No, you're going the wrong way. Okay. The parrot is also dying though, Tarn.
Shit. Okay, where?
I don't know where he is. I'm trying to help.
Parrot froze to death.
Did it die?
Yeah.
Is it yours or mine?
Yeah, it was mine.
Oh, boo. At least we got you though.
Yeah.
Holy moly, you gotta be careful with this snow.
Didn't know this was snow.
I'm gonna dig the rest of it out. Do you have any torches?
Yeah.
Can you like? Are you okay?
I'm sad.
I couldn't find him. The only reason I could find you is because I saw your name.
That's good. I know you tried your best. It's not your fault. It's mine. I just got feathers from it.
We'll never forget him, boo.
Yeah.
I ended the first day of our hardcore adventure learning a tough lesson about the cruelty of this world. Needless to say, that was enough Minecraft for me that night. At the very least, I got to go to bed knowing that at least one parrot was safe and sound.
There's a skeleton and my parrot is in danger.
Shit. Okay. How do I come?
My parrot is dead.
Despite the mishaps, we accomplished our first goal of finding a place to live. It may be a craggy cave carved out along the cliffside, but it doesn't matter. Whether it's a dirt hut or a diamond mansion, as soon as you place the furnace next to the crafting table, it's a home. But if we were going to make it in the long term, it would take a lot more than just the two of us.
Our primary goal is to get the the villagers, not the campers.
Yeah, the
Villagers here.
Thankfully, finding villagers isn't what's hard. Wrangling them is.
All right, find a villager to kidnap.
Operation Kidnap a Villager.
You look appetizing. Come with me.
Okay.
We're going straight back to home.
We don't agree on a lot in Minecraft, but if there's one thing we do agree on, it's that we both hate relocating villagers. It's bad enough sharing a boat with them, but it seems like they never go where we want them to.
Whoa, your boat's sinking.
That's a problem.
Do we just leave this villager and go to a different one?
Oh god.
Although wrangling the testificates is an utter headache, villager trading is pretty much our only hope in hardcore. He's savvy enough to survive without diamond armor and tools, but knows better than to let me wander around without. So as much as we hate admitting it, we needed their help.
There it is.
My spirits are high. Taking these villagers home.
Okay, how do we get up there is the question.
Getting them to the cliff was never going to be the hard part. Getting them up there was.
I guess we could try to use the job blocks, right?
The what blocks?
The job blocks. Let's try that strat.
Sure.
Okay. So now I'll place this here. And do they come?
I get it. Okay, here. Guys, stop being dumb. Just go up.
Okay, follow me.
They're stuck, though. They
They
can't
don't
do that.
have a way to get up. Unless I make them one.
They're getting so confused. Guys, this is not that difficult. Hop. Okay, dude, what are you doing? They both got stuck in here, the idiots.
Okay, this should get them the rest of the way up.
Question is, can I get up there?
I'm gonna come help you. You're almost there, buddy.
Everybody, come on. I'm holding it.
Come on, place it. Place it at the top.
Come on.
This way.
Yay. And then we can put them in boats.
Okay, they're safe. I don't know how we did that, but we did it.
That was way more painless than I thought.
Now, as much as I'd like to show 12 raw minutes of the two of us goofing off, in the interest of time, I'll give you the clip notes. Our next goal was to tarny-proof the area and make things as safe as possible.
Here you go, Tarny.
Thank you. Oh
You're
my
welcome.
god.
He got busy walling things off and placing light sources, and that's when his parrot died tragically, but not as dramatically.
And there's a saddle.
A saddle?
Yeah.
There's a saddle?
Yeah.
Ah!
What a find.
What a find.
I mean, the parrot death was
oh,
sad,
that was so sad.
but to be fair, he was putting himself in that position.
While he was being productive, I was wandering around picking flowers and herding animals.
I just saw Jacob platters.
I got lost a couple of times, but that's what having a boyfriend's for.
And you don't know your way home, or you need help getting the cows home?
I think I got a little turned around.
After all the lollygagging, the two of us realized that after going to all the work of getting the villagers up here, we should probably make protecting them a priority.
Oh, there's some zombies, and they're gonna go for our villagers. I'm gonna go take them out. Step into the sunlight, you coward. May you wander in wisdom. Let's get these guys situated, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Let's get them a nice semi-village.
So with all that said, our next big project was to construct them lodging.
I think right here's a good spot to build like a little house for them.
Perfect.
Alright, am I making an extremely pink house right now, Taryn?
Yes.
So here are options. Are you nearby? Oh yeah.
I'm right here. I kind of like this option.
The middle one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like do an entire wall with that, and then you can let me know.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Is this like too pink? I think this was the right choice. Switch to spruce. It just fits the aesthetic much better. That's what I'm talking about right there.
After much deliberation, we settled on spruce to be our main building material.
I'm very happy with how that looks.
I love it.
I don't know why we even bother lying to ourselves anymore. No matter how many times we try to deviate, we always end up back at spruce.
Live by the spruce, die by the spruce, you know?
Lucky for him, the girlfriend excels in collecting resources, and wood is my specialty. But even then, we have a rule in hardcore that I'm not allowed to chop the big ones.
Whoa, a very giant tall tree has spawned.
Oh, I'm probably gonna need to do that, aren't I?
Please.
It looks so cool off in the distance, dude. That was awesome. I feel like... Oh, well, maybe centering it would be smart. I don't know.
So I'll come check out what you have.
Does that look good?
That
or-
looks really good. What?
It's just weird when you stop and think, like, we, like, give them bread to breed them. Like, it's, I don't know, it just seems, like,
It's very odd.
weirdly, like, colonial, I guess. It's, like, my first thing. I'm just like, huh. And, like, I guess they're cool with it because they get bread. Okay. So this is looking good. We're happy with this.
Yes.
So for the roof, do you think it would look better? Oh, I don't want to look them. Give them their privacy.
Ah, does the baby need bread?
This is gonna look great. Trust me.
No, that looks perfect.
All right, Hank, you gotta go. I'm sorry. You're driving me crazy. Oh shit. I almost just died. Well, that would have been a really fun end to this building. Just immediately dying to a Hank.
As thanks for constructing them a new home, they paid it forwards with some nice trades. All throughout construction, we traded sticks with a Fletcher and leveled up a toolsmith and armor. By the time we were done with the renovations, we were all kitted out with shiny new armor and tools.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Let's see it. Oh, look at you. You're all decked out in blue.
With the villagers thriving in their new home, we could finally set our sights on our main project.
Like, this is where the castle matters the most, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Now, we had a grand plan for a build, but as we were trying to visualize it from the other side of the canyon, we kept realizing we couldn't get a good view. Obviously, that meant what we really needed to build was something to be able to look at the main thing we were trying to build.
So like when we're up on this tree, for example, see what I'm saying? Like we need to visualize the castle.
Yeah.
And thus begun the construction of the tower.
I need to make like a circle. Is that a radius or diameter? There you go. That's the foundation. God, this is just not enough stone. I'm halfway through my stone and I'm already like, well, I need more. So I'm gonna throw on these little booties and I'm gonna go up on the mountain and I'm gonna mine a bunch of coal because I have fortune on this pick, right? We have fortune 1. It's not the best, but it's something. And then hopefully I get some stone while I'm doing that and we can use those two things together to make more bricks. There's quite a bit of coal down there that I want to go grab. Oh, there's a bee up here. Holy shit, that goat just left. What is happening? What are you doing up here, little guy? Are you lost?
Wow. That is the highest flying bee I've ever seen.
That bee's got gumption.
Obviously, there were too many distractions of the mountain face, so rather than smelting our own materials, we decided to build using deep slate instead. Although, that came with its own challenges, as that meant he'd have to dig from our mountaintop all the way to 64 blocks below sea level. But thankfully, he was getting sick of all the villager humming, so if anyone was up to the task, it was him.
I'd like to mine down to deep slate. Okay, so I'm gonna just start heading down right here. Behold, T-Girl. Deep slate.
Yay! After lining his pockets with deep slate, he was finally able to set the Machiavellian gears into motion. And I know better than anyone else that once the cogs in his head start turning, it's difficult to slow them back down.
So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with tile, right? So I'm gonna do a ring of tile. Okay. Then I'll do like a ring of brick. Maybe 2. Okay, I kind of like that. That's nice. And then I'll do the stone brick. Maybe I'll do 3. Okay, how does this look from the bridge? I gotta know. Is this looking weird? You know what? I kind of like it. Let me look at it from the bridge for a sec.
That looks cool.
No, I
The
like
gradient-
that.
the
I like
gradient
that.
is sick.
I'm gonna blend it is what I'm gonna do. Well, that looks. I like how that's looking a lot.
Yeah.
So then you do more of this. I do the cool bucket thing that everybody always does. Yeah, look at that. I nailed it.
Hello. This is looking so
Hi,
good.
thank you. I feel like that's pretty good, but it needs like a little like window or something in the middle there.
Yeah, with like some little wooden shutters.
Yeah, I think wood would help bring it a little more to life.
When it comes to building Minecraft, he's the architect and I'm more of the designer. Our best builds usually happen when the two of us work together, which begs the question, what the hell have I been up to in this build?
What you got there?
My stable.
Your stable for the horse that ran away?
Yep.
Can you look at the tower real quick? Are you near the tower?
I can look at the tower. Ooh. Yeah, I think that looks good.
Okay, got it. That looks really nice. Not a bad thing by any means. Ooh, it's time for bed. Does it look good or is it too much?
No, I love it.
I could just line that whole thing with campfires and then it would just look like it's on fire. Basically like this. How does that look?
Yeah, I like it.
Maybe I'll do slabs. Can you let me know how this looks real quick?
Yeah.
Slabs on top there so you can't see the wood. Does that look better or worse?
I think that's better.
Okay, I'm gonna do that across the whole thing.
Yeah.
That looks so good, Taryn. Look at the sunrise. Oh my
That
god.
looks
I'm losing my mind.
So good.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Who made that? Was that me? That couldn't have been me, Taryn. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy with how that
You're
looks.
better than you know.
With the project to be used to view the main project finished, it was finally time for said main project, right? Well, not quite. He had one more idea in mind.
I've torn this thing down and rebuilt it so many times tonight, Taryn. It's just like, I just want to be done.
We wanted to at least test our new tower by building monuments that would serve as a not-so-friendly reminder of our hardcore status.
Oh my god, it's
Yes, that's
gorgeous. We look so good.
We look so
Holy
good.
shit, Taryn, we're so good at this game.
With our impending deaths now constantly looming overhead, it was about time we started the real project. Every world we've ever made up until this point has felt like nothing but prep and ideas for the future. If nothing more, my dying wish is to at least start a mega build in a hardcore world.
We're gonna stare at this
Okay.
until we come up with how we want our kingdom to look.
It seems like since the world first formed, the two of us have had our hearts set on building some kind of massive castle or fortress. Pretty much since we touched down at the base of the cherry grove, we've been picturing surveying our kingdom from the snow. And Old Icy Keep seemed like the perfect fit, so what were we waiting for?
We've been talking about making a castle this entire time, but I have a brilliant idea that's gonna completely blow that out of the water.
If you know anything about how the two of us operate, you won't be surprised to learn that at the final hour, we completely changed our minds about that whole idea.
Okay, so here's the plan. Here we go.
I'm listening.
Instead of building a castle up on the mountain, we're gonna build a ship. We're gonna have like a giant ship on top of a frozen mountain. That's the place we call home. And it's kind of funny because like we're in a relationship, right? So we can call it the relationship.
Oh my god, you're killing me.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant. Let's do it.
Going along with his crazy ideas has never let me down in the past, so I'm all on this ship plan. While our rationale for this project may be questionable, the task was clear. All that was left to do was knock our two heads together till we had a relationship we could be proud of.
I want to climb up on this mountain and just kind of look at the area. So
Apparently I'm very good at it.
it looks open enough. I think it's ready for the...
Yeah.
Whoa!
Careful.
What the hell?
What happened? Did
The
it...
goat just bucked me off the cliff.
Whoa.
Which one of you did that? Was it you? Just beware. The goats aren't attacking you. They just buck you off because they're dicks. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what I was picturing, I guess.
Yeah. God damn it, goat.
See, that's kind of how I'm picturing the whole of the ship. That looks nice. I
That
like.
looks really good.
So then I'm gonna build another one of those. Should I build 2 or 3 of them?
I kind of like 2.
Okay. So what I ought to do now is connect them.
Yeah.
I fixed it, Tarn.
Yay!
Oh my god. Look at the view from right here. It looks so
That
cool.
is so good.
I just kicked the baby. Jack, I'm sorry. We're definitely running low on wood if we're gonna... We probably do need to supply. Let me put this materials into the box and then we'll go on a little supply run together.
After using up our entire chest of wood on the frame alone, we realized how quickly this project was growing. Neither of us have any experience building something to this scale. And if we were gonna have any hope of seeing this project to completion, we need to stockpile resources like never before.
Oh, it's definitely time
Definitely
for bed now.
nighttime. Get to bed.
Sleeping in the boat, Karen.
Holy shit,
That's gonna be you and me soon.
With the frame built, it was time to start filling out the hole. The problem was staying on the same page as each other. He tends to think faster than I can even place blocks, and consequently, falling behind was inevitable.
This is one full block after the 2 slabs, but over here, I'll show you real quick. There's 2, right?
Wait 1 sec.
like that.
Oops. He swears up and down that we were following a pattern, but to me, it all just looked like spruce-colored Legos.
Am I doing this right? Full block.
Full block. The slab should go above the block, so watch.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh.
And there's gonna be 2 of them, and then a full block like that.
Oh.
So if that one's too wide, then just
So
slab and then full block.
So slab and then
Full block. Full block.
like that.
Yeah.
So this was like a slab and then a slab and then a.
This is boat building, Taryn. Okay, that should be correct. So we'll just be doing that most of the way up. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go.
When it came to the design, we quickly found out that we were better off changing our strategy instead of building right on top of each other. Things definitely changed for the better when we leaned into our strengths.
So I kind of need my like wing woman over here.
Having me get a bird's eye view and give instructions with my hands on my hips was a lot more useful than having me constantly fall off the structure and getting confused.
So from the outside, how are we looking now?
This is looking really good.
Okay, so now I just need to move the corner stairs slightly. Like that.
Yeah, that looks really good.
This looks weird right here.
Take out, no, I would say take out, so take out those 2 stairs real quick. Take out one to the left block, and then do this stairs like there. Like, to the left, yeah, and then, yeah. Oh, I like this downward. Okay.
We'll leave it like that. I like that too.
Okay, yeah.
We are sculpting a boat.
We are,
Maybe
wait.
right here too.
Yeah! Because it's like bottom corner. I love that.
So, what did you want me to do? Like that, right?
Yeah, that looks really good.
Okay. Well, we've built one section of the boat. I like how it looks, I think.
Yeah.
We had a basic pattern figured out, so all that was left was to mirror it. Easier said than done.
This is the most ambitious thing, I'm gonna say, I've ever built in Minecraft, Taryn.
Throughout all of this, it was important for us to not forget we were still in hardcore. Falling off our building wasn't the only danger though, and if building this big ass ship wasn't difficult enough, it was only made worse by our nosy neighbors.
Oh my god, that's a raid. It's a raid. Down in our little valley bit.
Oh shit. Okay, wait, we can handle this.
How do we do it?
Get your shield up.
My shield's up. So there's one
Are
guy,
they
and
shooting
then there's
me
like
or you?
4.
Ow. Oh shit. Let's try to sleep, maybe? You said there's a raid, and my immediate thought was that like an actual raid started. Hi there.
Is this not a, this is just pillagers?
This is just pillagers. My health is fine. Here's the thing.
Oh, they're on the other side.
I need to milk a cow. There's a cow over there, so we need to make sure that cow doesn't die. You understand?
Okay, I have a bucket.
This is the one that's gonna give me the bad omen, so.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Come here, sir. I need your help. Okay, we handled that. It's not nearly as big of a deal as it looked. There was a raid that was not a raid. Also, I just sat there and like tanked arrows while Taryn watched and cowered in fear.
Even with a few rude interruptions here or there, we managed to stay on task. Filling out the side was just a matter of patience and revision.
Something's weird over here.
So like this,
Yeah.
and then like that.
We're such a good team. Oh my god, hey!
If it wasn't clear already, probably our biggest obstacle was not driving each other insane. Our silly banter aside, creative differences were the greatest threat to the relationship, but fortunately we've survived far worse. The two of us have been tempered by years of disagreements about furniture arrangements and wall colors. By comparison, our Minecraft boat is light work.
It's looking very sprucey right now.
So if we just do the stairs dark oak, that covers like the whole... This is all stairs. I wouldn't even bother with this
So
stuff
just
yet.
replace the stairs.
Yeah, just
with
along
dark
here.
oak stairs.
Yeah.
I can do that. That's not that bad.
The starboard side of our ship was always going to be a lot more treacherous than port side due to being suspended over the edge of the mountain.
I love the like pop-up shelter and you just build
Yeah.
like with a fence because you know you're gonna back over it if you're not.
Yeah, I
paying
had to do
attention.
the fence because I was like, I am not about to mess this up.
Thankfully, with one side filled out, we had a nice blueprint for how the other was supposed to look.
Hey, it landed on my platform.
After hours of arguing over how it looked and several teardowns and rebuilds, we finally managed to settle on something that made us both happy.
I'm just trying to do the trim with the dark oak, and it's hard, and I'm tired. It's such a headache, but it's so worth the headache just looking at it down here.
We went to bed that night exhausted and fully expected to wake up either very impressed or very concerned with what we made.
We made that.
We did.
It's only like the bottom half of a boat, though. It's like it looks like someone like went across it with like a straight razor.
Yeah.
Shaved it.
You'd think we'd be a little burnt from playing all day the day before, but we had a lot of motivation thanks to finally starting what we deemed the fun half of the build.
I'm noticing that we don't, at the moment, have an entrance to our boat /
Yeah.
ship.
Well, I have 2 ideas.
With the hole filled out, we were finally in a place where we could start to add some of our personalities to the relationship.
So this is like the big ugly wall, right? So like, you let me know how this looks. Like I'm just gonna punch holes out of it. Yeah, I was trying to make something and now I'm making something completely different based off of what you wanted. Well, I was just trying to like make this look less flat and I had an idea for a design. Maybe it needs to be a heart. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we just need a heart. Okay, yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. So it's like...
That's really cute.
Is it good?
This might be crazy. Can we fit 2?
Is this good for you now?
I think that's cute. Yeah. I feel like maybe just... This looks really good. 'Cause it like rises up nicely.
The best part of this build has been that whenever we do the other half, we can just turn our brains off and copy what we did the first side. All the deliberations of how it should look are out of the way, and we're free to just place blocks and let our minds wander.
So that's number 1 done. Kill all the pandas. Sometimes, Taryn, I just like, my mouth just like runs like straight from my thoughts to my mouth. I have nothing against pandas. I like pandas. I will always think the superior monochromatic animal is the penguin. Is this weird, Taryn? Or should we put cherry wood in the background?
Oh.
I think we should do cherry.
Uh-huh. I love that.
With the sides of the ship at a height we were happy with, it was about time we started filling in the deck. Both of us let out a sigh of relief knowing that having a solid platform under our feet would limit the falling we did up until now. Once again, I'll summarize about an hour of placing slabs in a straight line down to a few seconds in the interest of time. Having a floor was nice, laying it out was more of a chore than anything. All in all, we just really wanted to get through it quickly because we were both very much ready to start constructing the cabin in the back.
Look at that sunrise.
That's gorgeous.
So, I think maybe I should construct the box next.
Constructing the frame of the cabin was around the time I started getting really nervous for our safety. Even with feather falling on our Ugg boots, it was a long way down to the ground from the back of the ship.
Oh my god, Taryn, I am precariously high right now. I can safely jump to the back, I hope.
Damn, look at that leap.
That was quite the leap. How does it look from your view? Do you think it's okay?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna add stairs along the back and be done with it.
You might call us crazy for building something like this without an elytra, but the two of us take pride in being the best, worst Minecrafters we know.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you, Taryn, this is not a boat,
I
okay?
keep calling it a boat.
I did not place over 4,000 blocks for it to be confused for something we can craft with 5 planks. This is looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is going on here?
I know.
When did I get so good at Minecraft? That looks so good, Taryn. Oh,
Yeah.
you're killing it. Even the stairs look cool from back here. Like, everything's just coming together, Taryn.
Yes.
Oh my god, we're doing it, Taryn.
We're
doing it.
It goes without saying that it was super rewarding to see all our big ideas finally coming to fruition. It was by no means done, but we were thrilled with how far we'd come.
Are you seeing this? Goat?
But we should know better than to count our chickens before they hatch. The most perilous section of the ship build was still to come.
How are we doing?
Like, I feel like they're usually, like, really tall, but, like, I don't really want you going much higher.
I don't really want to go higher than that. This is the biggest one anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
That thing's so tall.
It's so tall.
In case it wasn't obvious enough already, there was no way he was letting me get anywhere near the mast construction.
Well, now the tricky part, right? So, like, do I ladder on it? Like, how the hell am I gonna make the beams of the mast?
We've made it this far. It would be all too familiar for it to come to an end due to clumsy girlfriend fall damage. So with that being said, it was up to him to erect the mast and tie the sails.
Ow. Where did my water go? Oh no. That's why I got hurt. Okay. Because of the slabbage.
We just cover the deck in beds.
Yeah, we won't be able to bucket clutch on our slabbed floor.
I was on the edge of my seat for this entire section, because falling and dying now would be completely on brand. Not to mention, it was well past our bedtime and we were getting a little impatient.
God, I have to build 2 more of these? Holy shit, and we're not even done with this one, are we?
Whether we made the mast or died trying, the main thing keeping us going was knowing that either way, tomorrow we'd be able to wake up and play something else.
It looks good, right? Like, I know we were like talking about maybe not even building it, but I feel like it needed it, so.
It needed it. Oh my god.
That's 1 mast of 3 done, but it's also the biggest one.
The biggest
which is nice, so very close to being done.
Yes.
Okay, we can do this.
We can do this.
We can do
It
this.
looks
We're
so
almost there.
good.
I simultaneously feel like an absolute Minecraft pro right now. And also, like, I've never played the game. Oh my lord. Taryn, what are we... How did we get here?
I don't even know.
I feel like most people would go, like, fight the dragon or something before doing this. Because, like, flight probably makes it a lot easier. Oh my god, Taryn, we're about to be done. I'm gonna go look at it from the mountain, and then I'm gonna look at it from the tower. The goats are congregating. They want to
Yes.
celebrate this with us. Oh my god. What the f***? I gotta go down to the tower now because the sun is hitting it like the perfect way. This is what we have the tower for.
This is what we have the tower
Like,
for.
we built the tower specifically for this moment. Look at that.
Holy shit.
The relationship has been constructed.
The relationship.
So after 5 failed worlds, we finally managed to survive long enough to make something we could both be proud of.
Good work, Taryn.
Good work.
Well done.
And that's the story of our hardcore journey so far. We haven't died yet, but knowing the two of us, it's anyone's guess when we will. As we've all come to learn from this project, relationships take a lot of work to build. Now it's just a matter of taking care of it and making sure things don't go all up in smoke.
You know, now that I'm looking at it, we probably want to add some lightning rods.